Hi, Catherine. Thanks so
Hello.
much. Thanks so much for taking this time to talk to us today. So our reason for meeting today is bittersweet. Having set WEAll up or played a pivotal role in that in 2018, you have done a tremendous amount of work to get us to where we are and had loads of great successes. And now you're going to be taking a step back and taking a break and doing something new. We're going to miss you so much. And we just wanted to take this time to give you some space, really, and to hear from you about what you've learned and everything you've achieved and what's next for you.
Oh, thanks, Frances. It's lovely to have the excuse to chat to you. And yeah, it is a big moment, quite a change, and also not knowing what's coming, but lots of ideas and potential new adventures. I'm also excited about it and looking forward to just catching my breath a little bit too and getting some different perspective.
Great. So perhaps first you could just tell us how WEAll came about.
Yeah, I describe WEAll as having many mothers in the sense that it came together because a whole wide range of different organizations and individuals who, some of them for decades, but all in their different way, had been working on economic system change, building the evidence base, advocating for it, building the practice as well. And they got to a juncture where they recognized that all of that is great. You know, we've got the why and we've got pockets of the what we weren't doing as a movement was adding that up into something more powerful. And so the sense was that we needed an entity to amplify that work, to connect up that work, and therefore help it actually add up to the system change that's required. So it's a lovely journey. It's a new sort of organization. So there wasn't a template. So we've been sort of experimenting as we go and really adaptive and evolving and changing what WEAll's about as we listen and try to constantly be paying attention to what can WEAll best bring to that movement for economic system change.
That's fantastic. Perhaps you could tell us a bit about some of your proudest moments. I know there will be many, but perhaps the highlights would be wonderful.
Yeah, there are many. I mean, I guess some of the proudest external moments in a way are when there've been moments where I've really felt actually this is working and the conversation is moving on, and junctures that show that the debate is starting to cut through. And I guess one obvious example of that is when the First Minister of Scotland did her TED talk on the idea of Wellbeing Economy and WEGO back in 2019. That was really quite a moment, not least as they don't often give politicians space on the TED stage. And then she used her moment on that red dot to talk about WEGO. So that was extraordinary. Just recently, late last year, when the European Union stated its aim to build a wellbeing economy in its 8th environmental action plan. And also just towards the end of last year, there was a debate in Westminster where you had politicians from all different parties talking about the recognition for an economy to serve people and planet. And that was a moment as well. But equally, there have been moments internally to the organization that have made me really proud. And I guess the most important is that just the incredible organizations and individuals that have joined this journey. And I often think a little bit, it's like we're trying to carry this really heavy table across a huge room. And so many people have come in and said, yeah, we'll take a bit of the table, we'll help you carry this. And it's just been wonderful. The volunteers, the board of WEAll Scotland, the people on the Global Council for WEAll Global, the people who apply for jobs when we're lucky enough to be able to advertise them. I mean, the caliber of people who want to work with us, folks who tell us that when they find WEAll, it's like finding the family they've always been looking for. So in a way, that side of things, just this community, this diverse, creative, passionate community, united by one, the desire to change the economy, but also united by the sense that they want to collaborate to achieve that change. That probably is the ultimate proud moments sense for me, I guess.
Yeah. Feel very moved thinking about just how much I say we, but I'm very new to it. What I really mean you and the movement have achieved in the last few years, and just excited to kind of carry on your legacy. yeah, it would be good to, I mean, you sort of touched on it there, but it'd be great to hear more about kind of who is inspiring you to kind of, who's inspired you to keep going. Where do you think the hope is?
So I get inspired all the time, and I think it's probably the beauty and just what an extraordinary privilege this sort of work is, because by definition it means you're constantly meeting incredible people who are rolling up their sleeves and contributing to change, whether it's activists, whether it's incredible businesses who are using their role as business to create environmental benefits, to create social benefits, whether it's community groups who are saying enough, we're not going to have this economic system imposed on us, we're going to take charge of it and control it and build the sort of economy that speaks to our needs. And I could list off hundreds, because there are hundreds and thousands. I mean, once decades ago a certain infamous politician said there is no alternative to that economic model, and in fact the reality is that there are thousands of alternatives. And so it's really hard to name check one or two, when as soon as I do that I'm missing out thousands more. But just to say that whether it's young students who are saying to their economics professors, stop teaching us economics that bears no resemblance to the real world, whether it's women in deprived parts of Scotland saying we want to build an economy that speaks to our local needs and contributes to the local agenda that we've created, whether it's people in the corridors of power who are going against the received wisdom to change how government rules and regulations support the economy and shape the economy. So and artists as well, helping tell the story of a hope of possibility and hold a mirror up to the absurdity of that current economic system. I mean, to me, it's just constantly meeting amazing people that, one, show there is an energy behind this agenda, but two, also show that change is not just desirable, it's absolutely possible.
Moving to the very sad topic of you moving on, perhaps you could just share a little bit about what's next for you.
Yeah, so in a way I don't know. What I do know is, and I'm really looking forward to having a couple of months cruising around Scotland, soaking up Scotland, seeing a bit more of my UK family and my husband's side of the family, just to catch my breath a bit. I've never really had a chunk of time off. I'm not very good. Even if I have a week holiday, I tend to find work sneaking into that. I work on the weekend. So I know that my sort of emotions and brain are tired. And so just stepping back, I'd love to read some novels. I'm really excited about that, and just sort of walk a lot more. So that's going to happen in the really short term. And so I think, in a way, until that happens, I'm trying not to make too many big decisions. And then, of course, because of the pandemic, I've been away from Australia for almost 3 years now, and I'm missing Australia. I'm missing my family. I'm missing just being under, bright skies and smelling eucalyptus. So I'm going to spend about 6 months in Australia as well, at the second half of the year, and just see how it feels. I've lived in Scotland for 17 years now, and Scotland is home and I love it. But also Australia is home and I love Australia too. And so just trying to figure out where there's a beautiful Scottish phrase, Frances, that says your feet will bring you to where your heart is. So I'm just sort of going to see where my feet go, and it may be back here, which would be exciting, or it may be finding a way to contribute to this work from my hometown Canberra, which is a lovely little country town. And I mean, it's a capital city, but it ultimately is a country town that's doing incredible work, even really locally. So I'm potentially really excited about getting involved in that a little bit too. So who knows, this time we'll have to check in a year, because hopefully this time next year I'll know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time in this very busy final week at WEAll. It's been great to hear reflections, as sad as it is to say goodbye for now. I'm sure everyone watching this will be following you already, but if you haven't, please check out the link below. I'm sure Katherine will be speaking about wellbeing economics. Anyway, thank you so much, Katherine.
Thank you, Frances.
Thanks so much for your time.
See you soon.